going on, MagFed community? This is Cody, and today I want to talk to you about MagFed loadouts. The first thing to be considered when doing a MagFed loadout is really the type of gameplay and what position you'll be playing. That in itself will really kind of point you in the right direction of getting the best loadout for you so that you get the optimal kills and that you stay in it to win it. And that's how I like to consider my loadouts, is really kind of sometimes less is more. I really want to have everything on my loadouts to be practical. I don't want to really carry excessive gear that I don't use just because it looks cool. I really like to kind of keep a minimalist approach to my gear and know that the gear that I have, I use. So the biggest things to be considered when kind of building out your loadouts, once you've decided what your gameplay is and what position you're going to be playing within that gameplay, whether you're going to like a heavy gunner, you're a pusher, etc., and whether or not it's a scenario-based game or it's going to be, you know, like an immediate, you know, 3-on-3 or 5-on-5 kind of real style gameplay, winner or loser, is to really consider weight. You really don't want to carry more paint than air, because that wouldn't make any sense, because obviously you don't have the air to shoot that paint, so that's just unnecessary weight. And that's a really big thing for me. I see a lot of players carrying more paint than they need because they're worried about the second game right after, and they're carrying all that extra weight. Well, all that extra weight just gives me the advantage now to be more nimble and keep my cardio strong so that I can hopefully kind of play one up on you. I really like to think that if you really are worried about paint, carry an extra air tank, carry extra mags if you can, and just keep that in an ammo box so that in between games you can switch all that ammo out or switch that air out, so that way when you go and play that one game you kind of have everything you need and you just leave it all on the field basically. And then in transition of switching, that's when you can put a new air tank on, that's when you can put new mags on, instead of carrying excessive paint basically. So I really want to show you guys two loadouts. The first one is going to be my scenario kind of heavy gunner loadout, and then the second one is going to be my more tournament gameplay. I like to play a lot of 3-on-3 and 5v5s, and I like to keep a lighter loadout. I don't need as much paint, and they don't allow box mags, they don't allow certain things within these tournaments, so that has to be considered as well. You know, so I'm playing with a Didam. Basically, I've got a couple different builds, but I used a 50 tank with a straight through tank. So things for me to consider is how it shoulders, so that I can get my eye on it. The other thing too is obviously this is a gas hog, so you know I can only carry so much paint to what this is. But I always play with this setup for the most part. Some different shrouds, some different barrels. But that really doesn't change my actual loadout, obviously. So let's get into it and let me show you some of the build outs. Alright guys, so let's go over our MagFed loadouts here. I basically want to go over two different loadouts. We've got on the right with the backpack our heavy gunner loadout slash kind of big scenario game loadout, and then on our left we've got our tournament gameplay loadout, which is going to be obviously less paint, where you can't play with the box mag, and it's just strictly MagFed only. So with that said, on the right here we've got basically our back pouch to hold our box mag, as well as you know, our front pouch here, which can hold up to, you know, 5 full mags of 21 rounds with the clips, and then 2 of the shorter versions. Now I really like this loadout packet here because we basically can hold the 2 smaller ones. They are smaller here because otherwise they would hit into my chin. I will show you how that fits and kind of what that looks like. I can either hold small here or I can hold big. I really like the crossovers here. That's my dog Journey, excuse me, GSP. He's on the prowl for some squirrels or cats. Anyhow, I like these little OneTigris inserts. What they do is they allow the bags to be on the inside versus being on the outside of the pouch, so it keeps me kind of more lean. With that, I have put in some MILSIG hard inserts here so that it's really easy to, you know, slide the mags in and out as necessary for what I need. So kind of putting this together real quick, if this were to kind of stand up like that, obviously, you know, you're gonna have your wraps arounds here, right? And then you have your front pouch. So that would hook in. This is where I keep, you know, extra, you know, tools or otherwise, you know, little goggle wraps or anything like that, just to kind of wipe off my goggles and stuff. And then I got my little cinch right here to hold my marker when I'm not using it, essentially. But yeah, as you can see, it's pretty lean. There's really nothing on the sides. I do have pouches if I need to, if I wanted to put communication on there. But as you can see, I keep it very minimal. I took the extra pads off on the side. So again, this paint either will bounce off or otherwise be more minimalist. And then from the back, I've got basically what I love is the box mag. So from when I'm standing and it's on me, it's very easy for me to pull this out. It's kind of hard right now because I'm holding the camera as I do this. Excuse me for a second. But as you can see, which I'll do in a second, that just fits in there perfectly. Again, I got really lucky and this was a camera loadout. The second one here is gonna be my basically tournament gameplay loadout. Basically kind of the similar setup towards the front. I will steal the front mag here. So I'll take this off and use this for this. And then the great thing about that is if I wanted to use one of these in the front, I can easily just slide it right in for the double, so it folds right over the top, because I only got the one insert basically. So it's really nice to be able to kind of mass to put in the back. And then in the back, I've got basically like a Whiskey 2-4 little insert here. So from the back, I keep my weight balance from the front to the back. Now, depending on how I'm playing, I might carry singles and maybe some doubles in the front, or doubles all in the front and doubles in the back. It's really depending on how much paint I want to carry for that tournament. But with this particular loadout, I mean, I can hold 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. If I wanted to hold another insert on the other side, that's 14. With that right there, that's 15. But I'm really tight. Everything is very close to my body. There's no excessive fat. Nothing's gonna fall out. And as well, if I want to be minimalist, you know, for a tournament where I'm only probably playing 6 or 8 mags, I keep 3 in the front, 3 back here. That's 6, 7, 8, and then 9, and then I can have 1 in the marker. So, and then as I drop the marker, I can just drop that on the floor, forget about it. I don't ever really want to put my mags back in when I'm playing tournament gameplay, because the last thing I want to do is second guess and pull out an empty mag. And I like to know what I have on me is full, essentially. So those are 2 different loadout builds that I have, something to be considered when doing. I'll go ahead and put those on so you can kind of see what that all looks like. And then, yeah. All right, guys, we're back. So we're gonna try on the gear now so we can see kind of how that fits from what I just showed you outside. So the first one, we're gonna do the heavy mag, or the heavy gunner slash, you know, scenario game. So as I have it, I got it cinched over. I'm gonna pull the one mag in tight. Velcro there, which is good. Velcro there, which is good. So right now, boom, extra tight. I got nothing here on the sides, very light. I've obviously got the 1 pack because I need to be able to put the box mag if I'm not gonna be using it. And I don't wanna have stuff kind of jiggling around on the sides. So then we got our little front plate here. I'll put the little clips on. So let's talk about what and how this is to use basically. So there you can go, there you go. Very minimalist. I've got all the mags I can use for, and then last but not least, I've got my little hook. So I've got a little counter dink on there. So I can just kind of let it be and hands-free, whatever the case might be. So if you were to carry an offhand, you know, I could quickly hook there, run, shoot. I'm not going to have, you know, excessive, you know, lanyards and things of that sort in my area, but otherwise I can just pull that off and then engage as necessary. So when I start, I'm going to basically start, usually if it's a big map, maybe with first strikes. Reason being, maybe if I'm a little bit further away, I'm going to have more accuracy, or otherwise, if I wanted to, I could start with the big gunner, but I can, you know, quickly just pull these out, put these back in if I needed to, drop them on the floor, whatever the case may be. Now, so the magic behind this build, obviously, is my bag. So I've got two little things that I can quickly reach. I can just kind of screw it through the back here, pull that out. I've got my marker on the side, put that on, and within seconds, I'm ready to go. Now, I don't need this anymore. I can either put this on the side or put it on the gun. Again, really easy access. I can go ahead and just put this in and then slide that in, pull that up, screw that in, boom. I'm hands-free, and now I'm back to playing in the game with going with, say, you know, if I wanted, these could be first strike rounds. So then I can kind of be with dual, or these could all be round ball if I wanted to do that. But yeah, and then I've got my little short mags here. There's really not much more that I need. I mean, I've got patchwork here if I want, patch and a handle, and then this thing is clipped in, which isn't going to go anywhere. So that thing keeps it rock solid. Plus it's got a little bit of a pad. My only thing is that when I lay in the prone position, obviously I can lay really flat because I have only the 3 here, so I can get really tight and up onto the buildings really tight, because I don't have all this excessive side work right here, or vice versa on this side. But I have to be considerate of, now you see that big case right there. So that's the biggest downfall from this build out that I have to consider, is if I get low, I can only get as low as this back sticks out, but not having to leave it out on the field and to have it available for me whenever I need it is so huge. Because a lot of times I'll just say, oh my gosh, I want to play with the box mag. Boom, I got the box mag. Wait, I don't want to play with the box mag anymore. Let's put it back and let's go with magazines. Now I'm back in the magazines. So very quickly I can change that out. This little hook obviously allows me to hold the gun, or otherwise I can put the marker on the floor and change out that way if need be. So it's just really depending on the game style. So that's basically build out number 1 for scenario / heavy gunner. All right, so for build out number 2, we've got our tournament gameplay. Again, it's a lot lighter load. There's no box mag, so exact same template. I've basically, instead, I've still got my insert here if I need it for extra mag, but as you can see, super tight, super minimal. So when I'm getting into that one position, making sure that I basically don't have elbows out, but I'm in, and I'm trying to keep as tight as it can be, I don't have any excessive stuff kind of filling out on the sides essentially. So that's really important to me. Again, I'm going to use the same loadout in the front. I just dropped the mag. So that would be this. So I'm gonna hook my clips in, and there we go. Thing about this is I can keep the 3 low, get real prone, and with the stuff in the back, you can see very minimalist. So when I'm in the prone position, which I don't like to get in very often, I could still lay extremely flat. So these are not gonna get in my way. I really like this loadout on the back because it really balances, and they're not gonna go anywhere. I've tried it, but I have quick, easy access just to pull that out real quick. Now, having that, I can quickly engage. If I wanted to save it real quick, I could easily, you know, put it in my front pouch. Because of how it's done, I can put it in the front to hold it there, which isn't hard. But if I needed to, you know, get rid of one of these, I could just put it, you know, in the back real quick and push it up there, and then it's boom, it's out of the way then basically. So again, just kind of sweet and easy. I can pop that in, get that out of the way, get that in there. I just don't like the extra weight here a lot of the times, but it's really nice knowing that I have all my mags here should I need it. But basically, you know, if I needed to put it in the insert, I typically wouldn't be doing this in a tournament because I wouldn't care where the mags land, but in a bigger scenario game, if I wanted to play all mags, I could, and then that's in. So it's a little bit harder to put in, but I like how flat it is. You know, it's very minimalist. So hope you guys like the loadout. Hopefully it helps you guys with some consideration in the future with basically how you want to do your next loadout. Again, big things to consider is less is more. Obviously, don't carry more paint than air. Really consider about your gameplay, and really try to keep things kind of lean and balanced. So that way, the other thing too is you can see this is tight. This isn't going anywhere. This is as tight as can be on me, and I can even pull it tighter. It's just because I've been taking on and off. But yeah, that's that. So thanks, guys.